Hello, various school administrators and principals. My name is Mr. Gilmore, and I am going to be addressing in this video some of the inequities in education and technology, which are important to consider since we are going to be integrating a lot more digital media and learning remotely in our curriculum. So, first, for a little bit of context, it is definitely good to see that the school district and our school overall is focusing more on aspects of technology, such as digital literacy or research and just how to use computers in general, since it's so relevant. But despite this, there are some issues that myself and many teachers have in trying to teach our students because not all of them have internet access or adequate time or space to be able to use technology, and some don't even have computers. So, to show the extent of this issue, I found some federal data, I believe it's from the year 2021, that shows this bottom figure here shows how, or what sort of internet access, technology access that families have. And based on low quarter of income, only 89% of families have home internet access through something other than a smartphone, so only that amount have laptops. Now, that is a majority, but there's still a lot of students who are unaccounted for in terms of access to technology, and they could end up falling behind because remote learning is becoming a greater norm given how many school districts are having either hybrid or remote classes. Now, this figure is actually from 2020, so there's the pandemic going on, but it is still starting to set a precedent. It could be the new normal, as they say. And even if school is still happening in session, a lot of work and material that students go through is online. So, based on that previous figure, this could be a problem for a lot of people. On that note, research has shown that in the future, in the next decade or so, the US is going to need a lot more computer programmers and coders and people in tech in general to fulfill job requirements for the economy. And if we're not getting a majority of our population up to speed with this technology, then they could be missing out on their own career opportunities and we could be hurting the economy overall. And also, this could disproportionately affect Black and Brown communities or minority communities, which would further our inequality in the U.S. Now, another thing that would be definitely super helpful to bridging this gap and creating more equity and bettering our students' access to education would be more funding because not all of them have laptops or Wi-Fi routers. So being able to subsidize that and offer computers for students to take home would be ideal. Now, we can't always do that, let's face it. We're not always properly funded, but if we can't, someone else can. I would like to be able to create some support systems for families and students to be able to find resources. And students shouldn't have to go to a library or a convention center to find free Wi-Fi, but there's also ways that they can get it through the government. So being able to help families and give them resources to seek that out on their own, I think would be a really good first step, or at least something that we can do to substitute. So the first thing that I'd like to implement in my own class for my high schoolers would be to implement some principles of universal design in learning. Some specific things are things that we see done at universities like MSU, how they record Zoom lectures and provide notes online. Because let's face it, students all have different needs and their lives get busy. So being able to provide for whatever situations will be beneficial and make sure that they all stay at the same pace. Alternative assignments and alternate assignment formats also may be a good idea because if students truly only if they can only access the internet through their mobile devices, then catering to that, or at least using content that would be transferable to a phone, could be useful. And then even just regular pen and paper assignments for when students are in person or at school.